Good morning, everybody, and good afternoon over there in Tel Aviv, Israel. We have Shira calling in today. A lot going on there, which we won't dive into, but we would love if you can introduce SmartReach and what you guys do over there.
Absolutely. So SmartReach AI was developed by us at SSC Digital. We are a lead generation agency, so we've been running lead gen campaigns via email and LinkedIn for the last 14 years. And about a year ago, we decided to build out a technology that would enable us to do all the things that we were doing manually for our clients. So we had over 100 people that were building lists manually, validating email addresses manually, doing research on every website manually, then running other tools for intent signals manually, and then hyper-personalizing emails all manually. And so what we've done is created a one-stop shop to do all of that with one subscription and one tool.
That's really neat. Would you like to show a demo real quick? Or?
All right, I always love to show a demo. So let me just share my screen. Hold on one second. Okay, great. Can you see my screen now?
Yep, I can see it there.
Okay, great. So yeah, this is SmartReach AI. So SmartReach AI has 3 different modules. We have the Smart Data, which is where you actually go and build your list, enrich it with deep research and integrations with other tools that I'll show you that give you buyer behavior signals and intent signals. And then we have Smart Mail, where you then go and hyper-personalize your email messaging. And then we have Smart Link, where you can hyper-personalize your LinkedIn messaging as well, where we've integrated with HeyReach. So we start with Smart Data. I'll do it really quick. I've already actually built a list. It's very similar to Apollo, ZoomInfo, Sales Navigator, where there's different filters that you can choose. Within the US, you can exclude any, in any country, all these industries. And within, for example, IT and software are tons of other industries that you can choose from, some sub-industries. The occupation, you could choose their job title, their department. And here's a really great signal as well. If they've started their job recently, you can type in skills that may be listed on their LinkedIn profile. So you could search for people. I was just doing a search before for a user, helping them find YouTubers. So anyone that has like YouTube or video content creation listed on their LinkedIn, you're able to find them through this as well. Their employee count, how many employees they have, their revenue, and then you can run the search. So basically, once you actually go ahead and access an email address, it's token-based. The email will always exist for you, so you just need to purchase it once. And then you could actually go a little bit deeper, and this is kind of one of the best features where it does very deep research. So here you can actually select from a pre-selected list of questions or research topics, or you can type in anything you want. So let's just say which company. Oh no, I'll say it because it's listing. Was this company
Very cool.
recently in the news, and if so, for what? Okay, so I'm asking it to now research all of these companies I just selected 4, and to do that very quickly and tell me which ones were in the news, and if so, what they were in the news for. And again, you could ask kind of any question you want, and then based on if it's publicly available, it will create a new column for you. So here you could see this company was in the news, this one was not in the news, this was in the news. And then you could even go, deeper. Let's just add another question here, like a short description. I like this one as well, because then you can kind of hyper-personalize every email with these details. And I'll just show you one other really cool one right after this that I really love as well for different campaigns. But again, any research that you want to do on the website, what are their hours, anything it can pull for you very, very quickly, and just create a new column. And then we have the smart signals. So this is where we've integrated with all different tools. So again, one subscription, very easy to use. So for example, if I want to go ahead and ask now for their website visits, it will go and connect to SimilarWeb and give me their website visits, and it's searching now. I can find company followers, so any competitors' followers, people's followers, any technology that I might want to search for, Instagram followers, are they hiring, have they closed funding, Google Maps for local listings, are they running ads, and lookalikes through Ocean as well to find companies that look like your current customers or companies that you want to target. So all of that is on one platform, and then you can go ahead and pull this information into your email and your LinkedIn messaging and hyper personalize everything.
Sure.
So yeah, so basically it's a one-stop shop to do all of that.
Looks like something everybody needs today.
Yeah.
Yeah, understanding buyer intent is more important than ever. Why do you think it's more critical than ever in today's B2B marketing landscape?
Yeah, that's a really important question. I mean, honestly, I've been in this, lead gen space for 14 years, and I would say the last year has been the most difficult to really start or continue to book calls and drive, leads through email, cold email and LinkedIn, and primarily because of AI, like everybody's running AI now, right? So they're getting inundated with emails. Anybody can write an email sequence. And everybody's trying to find these ways to contact them using the same databases to contact them. So everyone's using Apollo, and they're asking, how am I getting 1,000 emails from all these people? Like, why am I on this list? How can you remove me? So in terms of getting the highest conversions, it's always critical to really do your research before you contact them and actually come to them with a solution that is solving a specific problem that they have. And researching what that problem is, researching, are they hiring right now? Like, that's a great indication that they may need help in a certain area or that they're growing. Has their department count grown or shrunk over a certain period of time? So all of these, have they started a new job? All of these are indications that they may be in the market for your tool or your service, and your conversion rates will only go up when you can couple that with messaging saying, hey, like, I saw this in the news, that you were in the news, and I read on Wall Street Journal or, TechCrunch that you just did this and this. I specifically loved what you said about this and this, like making it extremely personal as if you've really done your research on them. The likelihood that they're going to reply is going to be that much higher. And that work should be done prior to you contacting them.
Yep. And you guys allow this automation at scale too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So on the email side, we're integrated with tools like SmartLead and HubSpot and Reply.io. So they send the emails out. On the LinkedIn side, we're fully integrated with HeyReach. So we have the LinkedIn automation built in.
Very neat. I guess, what are the biggest mistakes that B2B teams make when they're trying to personalize outreach at scale? Obviously, a lot of people probably use, hey company, hey name.
Yeah, I think that's probably the biggest mistake, is they think that that's personalizing, right? We're personalizing, and actually we made a lot of mistakes with that. Well, I wouldn't say mistakes, like the industry has really evolved, right? So when we just started, it would work to say, hey, Andy, I see you're a surfer, loved your last image with your family, surfing. And people were like, wow, how'd you know that? That's amazing. And they were blown away. This is the best email. But then over time, everybody started pulling information like that. And so it became less relevant, I would say. Now, what really makes the most sense when you're hyper-personalizing is researching the pain and the signals that user or buyer is showing that they really need your help with something. So, hey, I saw in the news that you guys, and you just, closed this amount of funding, and, how are you going to manage that moving forward? We'd love to help you, whatever that, So really connecting the dots between their recent activity versus how you can help them.
So what kinds of personalization do you think actually move the needle? Obviously, like we talked about, not first name, company name, mentioning things about PR you mentioned.
Yeah.
What other kind of key signals do you look for? Like fundraising could be a big one too.
Yeah,
Right?
fundraising is a big one. Hiring is a big one. I say one of my favorites is company followers and influencer followers. So like, for example, if there's a huge YouTube influencer, let's just say in your space around sales automation, okay? And also they're very big on LinkedIn. Finding their followers on LinkedIn and who is actually following and engaging with them is a really, really great signal, right? So, hey, I see that you follow, Shira Simmonds, and I loved her recent post on this and this. She's really helped me do this and this. So not just generic messaging to everybody, but really looking at, okay, my ICP, my ideal customer profile, who would they be following? What companies would they be following? Lookalikes is another really good one that we're seeing tremendous results with right now. So like, if I take a list of my existing clients and then say, okay, find other companies like them. And I could say, hey, I see that you guys, are very similar to X, and we've been able to do A, B, and C for them. Would love to see how we can talk to you about doing the same for you. Also doing research where we send emails and say like, hey, wouldn't you love to get your competitors list of who's following them, right? So you just have to think out of the box what's going to grab their attention and show that you've done research on them by dropping, for example, their competitor's name or dropping their product name or dropping where they, had a press release. So going a little bit deeper than just the general, hey, I see that you work as a title at company. Like everybody's doing that now. So you have to go deeper to kind of find the signal that is going to tell you, okay, they really need, and their email, the email that I send or LinkedIn message is going to be welcomed because I see that they can really use our help with something and they're struggling with something, right? So that's the key.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I've also gotten some of these types of emails that attempted to do what you guys do, which you guys seem like you do at a much more comprehensive level, which is really good to see. What kind of a personalization do you think could really backfire? I've seen people, say that I've had emails before where somebody says that they talked to my CEO and he wanted us to set up a meeting. And, for me, that was a quick and easy check to say, hey, did you talk to this guy? And he said no. And now I'm like, I definitely don't want to talk to these people. They're liars,
For sure. So definitely don't lie. Okay. That's huge. Don't invade their privacy as well. Like, for example, like, hey, if let's say you're selling windows and doors, like I've been on your property and surveyed your property. I mean, people are going to get really annoyed. So there's lots of different things that you kind of want to stay away from. I think stay focused on, the specific person that you're targeting, what their role is in the company, what are their KPIs, what have they shown that they need your product or service, and how can you help that person accomplish their KPIs, right? So if somebody contacted you and say, hey, Andy, I can really help you, accomplish your KPI of X by ABC. I see that that's what you do, at NachoNacho, like, let's see if we can talk and I can help you, right? That's going to get you to get on the phone because it's going to help you if you have a directive, a KPI that you need to reach, and somebody's going to be able to help you reach them and they understand that KPI and you've shown a signal. For example, let's say your KPI is that you need to, hit X number of website visits. Okay. Mm-hmm. And, they can send an email that basically, hey, I see that you're looking for, a website marketing, whatever title. Okay. Because that's a signal that, okay, I need to improve or I see that you've, spent a lot of money recently on ads to drive traffic. So that would be like, oh, okay, they've done their research on me. They have an alternative way that I can reach my KPI besides just ads, besides just hiring. Let me talk to them, right? Like, would that not get you to say, okay, let me jump on a call with them if it can help you reach your KPI?
Yep. Yeah. And I've seen some really effective ones too, where I've gotten emails about people saying, hey, we noticed that your competitors are ranking really well for these keywords and you should be too. And they were actually relevant keywords that we should be ranking for, frankly. So by, demonstrating that knowledge and showing me, in email, that we were missing out on something, we didn't end up getting their service, but they definitely got my attention. We have an internal SEO team.
That's the goal is to like really stand out in a crowded inbox, to get them on a call. And then it's up to the sales team to really, drive that in once they get them on the call. But I would say that's also just as equally as important is that there's coordination between the SDR, the lead gen team, and the sales team. So when that person, the salesperson or the account executive gets on the call, they know exactly the email that was sent, right? They know, okay, we researched this. This is what got their attention. And they lead with that. Like, hey, yeah, I was taking a look and I saw that you're hiring, and they know they can follow through on that call with those signals. That sometimes gets dropped a lot. And that's a shame because we did all that work to get them. We got them hooked. There's something there that they were on the call for. So the AE or the sales manager should know that before they start the pitch.
Absolutely. And do you guys integrate with HubSpot, or do you guys have the paper trail and SmartReach?
No, we actually are integrated with HubSpot. But a great thing to be honest with you, in sending out emails, the easier thing to do with HubSpot, because you're usually charged by the volume of leads in HubSpot, is for you to set up on your email tool, whether it's Smart Lead, Reply, Outreach, whatever tool you're using, instantly a BCC to your HubSpot. So you could do that one, or any positive replies, you can BCC your HubSpot, which is what we do. So that we're not getting tons of leads that are not really quality leads. I don't want to get every single person I'm emailing. I only want to get those that maybe responded and were positive. And so then I could BCC my HubSpot and it automatically goes into your HubSpot.
Makes sense. And how many total signals, like ballpark, do you guys have that you could help buyers or help B2B marketers identify potential signals with?
I mean, honestly, once we launched Smart Agent, which I just showed you, where you can literally ask any question available on the internet publicly, the sky is the limit, right? So you can find out, like, have they recently launched AI? Did they recently change their pricing? Did they have a SaaS product? Were they on a recent YouTube channel? What was their last LinkedIn post? I mean, literally, you can ask anything. So I would say, like, I can't even give a number because it's based on what's publicly available. Yes.
That's really powerful. I really like that. Yeah. So you guys, so it's infinite, pretty much.
Infinite. That's a good
as long as
answer.
you know your customer, but if you don't know your customer,
exactly, that's the key, by the way. And my support team is actually amazing with that. So we have a lot of users that will ask, you know what, I'm not sure where to start. Like, what are the best signals that I should use? And my support team is trained in that as well. So through support, we use Intercom for that. Through support, you can ask them, like, what would be the best signals for me to start with? And we'll recommend, what they are, what questions to ask, etc.
Very neat. So you guys have a great customer service to kind of back up and help onboard people. So if they have any questions about which signals they should be using, they could just ask your team.
Absolutely. So we offer an onboarding call, and then we have through, again, the channels, through our Slack, through Intercom. There's so many ways to communicate with us that it's very important for us to have that communication and to help you get the best use out of the tool as well.
Awesome. And how does your pricing model work? Do you guys charge per credit, or is it based on the volume?
It's based on, we call it tokens, which is a credit, the same thing. So for example, to create one email that's hyper personalized is one token, one similar web is one token, Smart Agent is one token. I think the only thing that's more is Ocean, which is 3 tokens for the lookalikes. But yeah, it's basically token based. Pricing only starts at $59, so it's very inexpensive. Again, the way that we've built it is that you don't have to pay for all these subscriptions. If you were to get Crunchbase and Ocean and look like all these things, you would be paying, thousands of dollars a month. So here you could start very small, pick the signals that you want. Don't worry about, overpaying for these tools and integrating all these tools together.
Well, yeah, kind of do it all in one place.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you guys balance automation versus genuine human touch? Do you guys allow for manual emails as well, or is everything kind of automated?
No, that's a really good question, Andy. And the truth is that when we launched, we were fully automated. And it really backfired very quickly on us, to be honest with you, because a lot of, like, everyone has their own opinions on what a good email is, right? It's not even like, I was like, well, listen, let the data lead you. Let's look and see what, the results are going to be based on reply rate, conversion rate. Nobody wanted that. They're like, I hate this. Others are, I love this. So I realized that it's very subjective. So we actually revamped the tech. So now you can actually add in whatever messaging you want and hyper personalize whatever you want in brackets. So you can literally be fully in control.
Wow.
In addition, we also allow you to edit the messages. Okay, so you can edit them. And when you edit them, you teach the system your writing style so that next time it learns it. And you could give specific prompts as well. So you could say, don't ever use this word, or make it shorter, or when you hyper personalize, only include this. So you can give it directions, and we gave the user as much control as possible so that they're very happy with the results of the email and the LinkedIn message. Yeah.
And do you guys, so you guys have an AI tool as well that can kind of suggest copy if they want that?
It's not suggesting, it doesn't, well, okay, the answer is yes. We do have the ability to enter in the prompts. Okay, so you can enter in prompts and it will write the message for you. That's definitely an option. But we recommend, honestly, taking top emails, doing it yourself, having our support team help you with the best, I would say, tips and tricks of having, 14 years of doing this. So we kind of know what works and what doesn't work. And that's also one of the advantages that we have, is that we're not just another tech company. We've built this from doing lead gen campaigns for 14 years. So the support is there, the experience is there, and the technology is there.
Sounds like a real white glove experience.
Yes.
So I guess for B2B teams that are, maybe lack the resources, what would you suggest for them to kind of get started with the personalization campaign? It sounds like you guys are really kind of set up to help these companies that might be foraying into this space for the first time.
Absolutely. So we actually have 3 different plans dependent on where you are in your life cycle of, outreach. And the first is just an individual plan, again, starting at $59. That's just basic tokens that you can start coming in and using it and testing and playing around with it. The second option is a team plan. So if you are a team of SDRs or a team of people that want to use it and you want to have one login, we have that option as well. And you want to have a lot of credits and tokens. And then the third option is full service. And full service is if you have no technology to actually send the emails, you don't have your own domains. You should never be sending emails from your main primary company domain. You should always have separate domains. Not everybody knows that. You don't have a LinkedIn automation tool. You don't have any warm-up capabilities for your email. So we offer a full service where we bundle all of that for you. So you literally only need to pay for SmartReach and everything comes with that. And that only starts at $4.99 a month.
Well, that's really affordable.
Yeah.
So I guess any other tips for cold email marketing that you would recommend for people, especially like around in terms of volume per day, per inbox? Any ideas there?
How long do you have, Andy? Because I have a lot of tips.
Maybe some of the top 5, I guess.
Yeah. So first of all, I would say in this day and age now, things that, like I said earlier, things have really evolved. So you really should be setting up separate domains. And then under those domains, you should have max 3 mailboxes. Okay. Those 3 mailboxes should be warmed up at least 2 to 4 weeks before you start sending any emails. And you can put it on a warm-up tool that will do that for you. And then once you're warmed up, you should not be sending more than 20 to 30 a day per mailbox, per warmed up mailbox, I would say, okay, including follow-ups. So a lot of people think that's first emails, but no, it includes follow-ups. So think about it. If you want to go high volume, you'll need to set up many domains. And I would also say that what we're finding is that the domains also make a difference, like the .com, the .net versus, the .me, the .place, so picking good domains is also important. So like say more wholesome, proper domains.
They'll look like you're not cold emailing them, even if you are.
Exactly. And then I would say lastly, so important is that a lot of people forget this, is that they should set it up so that when that domain is copied and pasted into a browser, it redirects to your company website.
Yeah, a lot of people forget that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I'll check the website out first and try to see who the company is before I respond, because I know that if I respond to them, I'm kind of encouraging them to put me into their sales funnel. Then I might start getting texts, more emails, like phone calls, and I definitely don't want to give them that signal. Like we talked about, is very important today. I'm not going to give them that signal if I don't like what their website is selling, essentially.
Yeah, for sure. And I would also say another very important component is comparing your web leads to your email and LinkedIn list, because many people are doing that, and then you lose the conversion tracking, right? So what's happening is you're sending an email or a LinkedIn message, and instead of them responding to you, they're going to your website and filling in your form or booking a demo call. And then there's no match between, oh, wait, that actually came from our email campaign, which brings our conversion rate up now to 2%, right? Because they came through that door. So it's always just important from an analytical standpoint that you're matching up, who you sent an email to and a LinkedIn message to with who actually signed up for a demo.
Yeah, you got to measure everything. I take a tool called GenSpark, and I'll compare like our user signups on NachoNacho and compare that with our campaigns, and use it to identify similar profiles, even if it's not the exact same email address, because sometimes somebody might get an email from you, but they might sign up with like maybe a different company account.
Even, we get that a lot. Yeah.
Or even a personal account, just to kind of take a look at the platform too. But they're still, a qualified lead. Maybe even if they're signing up with a Gmail account.
Exactly, 100%. So important to track that. Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of times I'll just take a peek at the platform and see if it's something I want to use. Then I'll set up a call and actually commit to more time for it.
For sure. Yeah. So that's usually the process. So you just want to make sure that you're tracking all of that. And I would say also another good one, we used to send a lot more in our email sequences. And now what we try to do is send 3 max. And then if we see that they haven't opted out or unsubscribed or replied, that message didn't resonate the first 3, we would wait a few months and then put them back on a list with a completely new researched message for them to try again. Because those are, if you have a valid email address, and I forgot to mention that's something else that our tool does as well, you don't have to go to, Million Verifier or Zero Bounce or, all these, verifiers and kind of take your lead, upload it to them, then re-download it and put it back in your platform. we have a verifier directly in SmartReach as well. And we're actually just about to launch. We have it for, valid, invalid, and catch-all. I don't know if you're familiar with what a catch-all is. But if it's a catch-all, you have to be really careful, because either it could just go to this like inbox that nobody's reading, or it could bounce, or it could be valid. So on the one hand, you have to be really careful, but on the other hand, you actually could take 30% of those could be valid, and you could be missing an amazing lead list. So we've actually integrated with Instantly. We're going to be launching it at the end of this week, where if it's a catch-all, it will also verify within the platform. So you don't have to leave the platform, do anything with, downloading lists, uploading, and putting them all together again.
Yeah, that's a good point that you brought up, because there used to be these email marketing gurus that would say send seven email sequence, and nobody wants to get 7 emails. They're not interested.
You do that. So, you piss them off. Our unsubscribe rate just went up and up. And I think the landscape has changed a lot.
Yep.
And so now you want to realize, like, if they have, first of all, you also, another trick for email deliverability now is to keep your open tracking off.
Yep.
So it leaves you a little blind, meaning you don't know how many people actually are opening it, but you want to look at like the reply rate and the positive reply rate. Whereas open tracking has that little pixel that can cause deliverability issues. And then I would say the other thing that's really important for email deliverability is the personalization, because one of the things that the ISPs are seeing is bulk emails being sent at mass. So if you send the same email, even if you change, company name, and so you really, really want to make sure that that your emails are personalized, that it doesn't look like you're sending, the same email over and over.
Yeah, there's a lot of tools where you could actually come up with like variations in the script, and then you could have randomly generated text, several versions of it. So each time you send an email, it's going to pick one of those 3 variants in each section, which gives you like a huge number of different potential combinations for your cold emails.
Yeah, for sure. But with the Smart Mail, you can hyper personalize all those emails at scale, so each one is different.
That's really, really neat. And then I'm glad that you brought up the point about following up within a few months, because the buying signals might change, like you mentioned.
Exactly.
So maybe maybe they're not ready to buy today, but they have fundraising in a couple months. And so if you put them in the funnel then, because of the fundraising announcement, maybe they actually have money to spend on marketing, for instance, and they want to grow faster.
Or maybe they let people go recently, and so they're going to need a little extra help, or maybe they're hiring more. Like, there's so many signals that you can really focus on that are going to be evolving. And I think that's one of the most important things, honestly, Andy, is the timing. Like, building these lists and then just sending them the same email, like, that doesn't mean that, just because they meet your ideal customer profile, that they're really in that moment needing you. And one of the things that was so important for us was integrating with this information in real time. Like, tell me right now who's closed funding. Tell me right now who's recently hired a new C-level position, right? It's the timing of understanding, okay, are they in the buyer cycle right now?
Yep, good point. Is there any change in terms of like the personalization that works at different stages of the funnel? Maybe, completely cold lead, and perhaps maybe somebody that might be a little bit further along, closer to the actual intent of buying. Do you see any difference in terms of how you approach your personalization there?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think someone who's, replied several times, then they're kind of out of the system, right? So once they've replied, like, we have a lot that are very interested, and then it's not a priority for them. So they get inundated with a million other things and they forget. So I think, first of all, the follow-ups that are manual should be personalized as well. Like, hey, I just saw that you posted this and this, or, another great tip is like to make an introduction to somebody and be like, hey, I thought that, this person would be really relevant for you, and give them some value when you're following up with them, to be like, oh, I owe them, they just helped me with something. That's another really great way to get them on a call once they're warm.
Yep, good point. Yeah, a lot of people kind of forget that follow-up, which is key. So, maybe if they're not ready to buy today, maybe checking in like a month later always is really helpful.
Always. Yes.
So where do you see personalization heading in the next 2 to 3 years? It's
wow. I mean, I think it's just going to get deeper and deeper. Like, the more that people use AI, the more that's publicly available, the more signals people are going to start seeing them, so it's only going to evolve and get stronger and stronger. But I also think that what's going to happen is that people are going to get a little desensitized to AI. right? So that's why it's so important from my perspective to always keep that human touch. So I haven't automated, for example, I deliberately chose not to automate replies. Like once they reply, not to have a system automatically replying like a robot, because I feel like that human element, once they reply, to start building a relationship, you cannot replace relationship building, right?
Nope.
And so, no matter how hard any AI tries, nobody wants to build a relationship with a robot, right? They want to speak to a real person. And so I feel like you need to have that combination of like, where can you leverage AI to help you? And where do you need to step in to start building relationships?
Yeah, especially after they show interest, it's just start getting personal and like actually that's somebody worth spending the time on to actually interact with as a human. Because as more automation takes place, people, there's going to be a rebound effect where people are going to want to actually, more the human touch more than ever. So
yeah, a lot of our replies are like, is there anybody even behind this email? And then something really funny and they're like, oh great, I just wanted to make sure it wasn't a robot, so once they have that human connection, especially in your follow-ups. And I would also say still personalize your follow-ups. Like don't just say, hey, I'm just following up, circling back, you want to jump on a call, like try to do a little bit deeper research, especially if they are within your ICP, they have shown interest, they have buyer intent signals. Try to be a little bit out of the box and creative on how you're going to research and get them on that call.
Excellent. Well, Shira, it's been very exciting learning about your product in greater detail today. Sounds like a really powerful tool that even small teams and even large teams alike could find a lot of value in. Where can people learn more about your product? Sorry.
So yes, absolutely. First of all, they can go to the NachoNacho website where we're giving, a really great offer, 40% off annual deals right now. And as well, they can go to SmartReachAI.com.
That sounds so affordable. How can somebody say no? Yeah, especially if your cold email is not working. I definitely recommend this. Shira really knows your stuff, especially as somebody that's run an agency. It's not just tech people building a tech website. It's somebody that actually has worked in the field and actually done the work themselves, which, in my belief, always tend to build better products that actually solve real customer problems. So your product sounds extremely powerful. Really excited to see it. And heck, I even want to start using it now.
I would love for you to start using it, Andy. Absolutely. Awesome. We'll talk.
Well, I'm going to talk. Let's talk offline about this. But
yes.
Again, one more time for the website, just for people that missed it this time.
It's SmartReachAI.com.
SmartReachAI.com. All right, everybody. SmartReachAI.com. Shira, it's been so great having you on today. Looking forward to building our businesses together.
Great. Thank you.